Yeah, it's what we do. Right, I gotta find Ned and MJ. Thank you.
I'm kind of relieved that Marvel is finally shaking things up with the title of the next Spider-Man movie. It feels like they're breaking away from that usual naming trend. And let's not forget that wild Spider-Man Brand New Day theory floating around, the one where Mephisto might finally show up in the MCU to strike a deal with Peter Parker. So let's swing into everything we know so far about the upcoming Spidey flick. Marvel has officially revealed the title of Tom Holland's next Spider-Man movie, and it's a big one, Spider-Man Brand New Day. This isn't just another catchy title to slap on a poster. It marks a major shift for Peter Parker in the MCU. Unlike the previous 3 Spider-Man solo films, which all had home in the title, Homecoming, Far Home, and No Way Home, this one ditches the theme entirely. And honestly, it kinda makes sense, especially considering how No Way Home ended. Peter's whole life was basically wiped clean from everyone's memory, setting the stage for a brand new chapter or, well, a brand new day. Tom Holland has already been confirmed to return as Spider-Man shortly before No Way Home hit theaters back in 2021. Since then, fans have been eagerly waiting to hear what's next for his version of Peter Parker. And lately, there's been a steady stream of updates that have only hyped things up more. For example, Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, was tapped to direct this new Spidey film last October. Then in February, Marvel locked in a release date, July 31st, 2026. And just a month later, Stranger Things star Sadie Sink was announced as part of the cast. So clearly, things are heating up. Now, let's talk about that title again, Brand New Day. It's the first time one of Holland's Spider-Man movies is directly borrowing its name from a Marvel Comics storyline. The original Brand New Day comics ran from January to July 2008 and followed the events of One More Day, a highly controversial storyline in Spider-Man lore. In One More Day, Peter and MJ's marriage was literally erased from existence, and the entire world forgot who Peter Parker was. Sound familiar? Yep, that plotline clearly inspired parts of No Way Home too, but now Marvel seems ready to go deeper with the comic connections. It's actually kind of interesting because the earlier Spider-Man movies in the MCU always used original titles. Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home weren't pulled directly from comic arcs. They were more about reflecting Peter's journey within the MCU framework, especially how he was trying to figure out where he belonged. But Brand New Day signals a shift. It suggests the next movie might lean more into traditional comic book territory, and for longtime fans, that's pretty exciting. So why does it matter that this movie might be more comic accurate? Well, Brand New Day in the comics was a turning point for Peter Parker. It reset a lot of things. Aunt May was miraculously alive again, Harry Osborn came back, and Peter got a fresh set of supporting characters. Basically, it was Marvel's way of giving Spider-Man a soft reboot. And after No Way Home erased Peter from everyone's memory, including MJ and Ned, and took away Aunt May, the MCU is perfectly set up to do something similar. Let's not forget how huge that memory wipe was. Doctor Strange's spell may have saved the multiverse, but it came at the cost of Peter's entire social life. MJ no longer remembers him, neither does Ned, and Aunt May, who was the heart of his world, is gone. So when you think about it, Brand New Day isn't just a clever name, it's the perfect metaphor for where Peter's story is heading. A clean slate, a chance to rebuild, make new friends, and find his place in the world again, all without Stark, Tech, or Avengers backup. Now here's where things start to get spicy. There's been some chatter that Spider-Man Brand New Day might introduce Mephisto, the demon lord from Marvel Comics, who's basically the MCU's version of the devil. His name has popped up in fan theories for a while now. Remember the WandaVision hype? But he never actually showed up. This time, though, there's real smoke to the fire. A December 2024 report from the In Snyder teased that Mephisto could appear in Brand New Day, alongside returning characters like Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox, and MJ, though Zendaya's role would be smaller, which makes sense given the ending of No Way Home. So why Mephisto and why now? Well, in One More Day, the storyline that Brand New Day follows, Mephisto plays a central role. After Aunt May is critically injured, Peter becomes so desperate to save her that he makes a deal with Mephisto. The cost? His marriage to MJ is erased from existence. And just like that, his entire life changes. That deal essentially leads to the new comic arc called Brand New Day. And even though the MCU version of Peter and MJ isn't married or even dating now, actually the setup is still eerily similar. Aunt May's gone, MJ doesn't remember Peter, and he's alone and desperate. So it's not a stretch to imagine the MCU giving us their own twist on that deal. Maybe instead of erasing a marriage, Mephisto offers Peter a chance to make MJ and Ned remember him. But of course, there'd be a cost, because there always is with demons. Another wild theory? Mephisto might not even reveal who he really is at first. He could just pose as someone mysterious who offers Peter help, but with vague, catch-you-later kind of terms. You know, the classic I'll help you now, but you owe me later routine. Or maybe he asks for something super dark, like Peter's potential future child. In the comics, there's Mayday Parker, their daughter from an alternate timeline. Imagine if Mephisto asked for that as a price? That'd be an emotional gut punch for sure. And here's a cool detail. Mephisto might already be making his way into the MCU before Brand New Day even drops. There are strong rumors he'll appear in Ironheart, the upcoming Disney Plus series set to premiere in June 2025. Sacha Baron Cohen is reportedly playing the character, and even though Marvel hasn't confirmed anything officially, sources like Deadline have said he's connected to the show's magical side, especially since Ironheart's villain is the Hood, a character who dabbles in dark magic. If that's true, it would make Mephisto's presence in Brand New Day feel more natural and earned, rather than a sudden, out-of-nowhere twist. Meanwhile, Tom Holland has been hyping up the movie too. At CinemaCon, he described Brand New Day as a fresh start for Peter Parker, which fits perfectly with what we've been talking about. A new supporting cast, a different tone, and potentially new villains, maybe even Harry Osborn, who's returned in the comics before. Plus, there's always the possibility of J. Jonah Jameson playing a bigger role again now that J.K. Simmons is back in the fold. What's clear is that Spider-Man Brand New Day isn't just another sequel, it's a reinvention. After 3 movies of Peter figuring out how to be Spider-Man while juggling his identity and his relationships, he's now stepping into a world where he's truly on his own. No friends, no Aunt May, no Tony Stark's help, just Peter Parker trying to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, with a ton of baggage, a potential deal with the devil looming, and a whole new story to tell. And while we don't know exactly how everything will play out, this feels like the start of something fresh and bold for the MCU Spider-Man. Maybe he'll get new allies. Maybe we'll see some unexpected cameos. Maybe Mephisto will finally make his fiery entrance. But one thing's for sure, Peter Parker's story is far from over. He's got a brand new day ahead of him, and it might just be his most challenging one yet. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to hit that like button, share it with your fellow fans, and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got some serious heat coming your way, including updates on which movie could launch the MCU's mutant saga and what might be next for the Inhumans. Drop your thoughts on today's topic in the comments, and let us know what you want to see in future videos. We're always listening. Catch you in the next one.